It finally happened. Asmongold got a new girlfriend. And obviously, Asmon, great guy. I love him very much. Friend of the channel, obviously. We talk daily. He calls me after every stream. He vents and tells me his darkest secrets. We're pretty much best friends at this point, honestly. And as his best friend, I felt that it obviously is on me to look into this new woman to tell if she's actually good enough for the Roach King. So I looked into his new girlfriend, Kaise, and what I found is actually deeply disturbing. I found two distinct things, so let's not waste any more time. I found two extremely distinct things that are very troublesome. The first one, the minor one, but it's still extremely odd and interesting how this can even happen, is the fact that Kaise's whole life is seemingly just made up lies. And I'm not talking about the fact that she obviously has had 3 plastic surgeries and her personality is fake. No, I'm talking about her whole existence online has been fabricated pretty much from day one, which is very odd, but gets less odd when you finally figure out her family background or a lack of family background. And that's the first one, and I know it already sounds strange. We're gonna get into it in a second. And the second one is just actually really fucked up. Like it is actually messed up. The second thing I found her about is pretty messed up morally. And yeah, we're gonna talk about that when we get to it. So, first of all, if we want to understand what's happening with Asmongold currently, a little bit of a brief history lesson in Asmongold's dating history. Asmongold has only ever dated one person and had interactions with one female before this, and that is Pink Sparkles. And to summarize this, the situation's not good, okay? There is no way to describe this relationship as just her using him for clout. It is absolutely undeniable. Their relationship lasted roughly a year and a half, and then afterwards, Asmongold pretty much desperately texted her for what essentially is roughly 5-ish years to try and get back to her. She was a nobody before Asmongold. She started appearing on his streams, and effectively she completely used him for clout. There are rumors that after leaving Asmongold in less than 2 months, that she married a guy and got pregnant. Though at this point, we don't know if these rumors are true because she keeps her life extremely private after this, and her net worth is estimated to be roughly $1 million because of Asmongold and all the stuff he has done. Because, needless to say, she's an off girl, and Asmongold's history has only been with off girls. There is no good way to describe this situation. The relationship itself has been, if we want to be kind, we can call it transactional, okay? It is not the best. She has made jokes about being pregnant. She has contacted Asmongold multiple times to talk about how she's pregnant from other men. It is an experience. It is an experience. And Asmongold has possibly never gotten over her. Yeah. It is what it is, boys. It is what it is. But now, Kaise. That's just the prelude so you understand what kind of situation we are sadly in here with the relationships of Asmon. And now it's Kaise. So, Kaise doesn't have any background history on the internet effectively since the point that she made her channel. Even though at this point she's probably around 30ish. It's hard to even distinguish her age. There are two sources. One that says that she's born in 1990, and the other one is that she's like 1996 or something like that. In any case, she does not have an online presence before Twitch, which she started doing on 2021 roughly. This is where she actually started streaming. And then at this point, as you can see, she view botted. She is a massive view botted. All of her internet presence has been faked by view botting, and it is blatantly obvious. Here we can see that she accrued a little bit of a following here, and then here on August 2023, she just blows up out of nowhere. Out of nowhere, she just comes in and suddenly has a stream that averages 3K people. And the thing is about her streaming is the fact that she doesn't actually stream. Pokemon can't even get past 1K viewers nowadays, and she's an actual legitimate celebrity to a degree, as much as people don't want to admit. But Kaise, who has sporadically just, streamed, suddenly, look at this. This is July 28th from 2023, and suddenly here she just gets to 2K, 3K viewers. She's not even streaming constantly. Out of nowhere, she just gets this massive influx of viewers, and they last pretty much throughout all of her career, honestly. And needless to say, this is probably view bots. And if this doesn't convince you, there's a lot more there where that came. She just magically is extremely popular on every platform. Yes, the same thing with her Twitch, the same thing with her everything. Okay? And again, she doesn't even actually stream. She barely touches her stream on a regular basis. She streams like every 4 days at best, if you want to say. Here's another slice that pretty much shows the same thing, so you just know that this is true. This is her Twitter. This is her Twitter. And as you can see, from 2024, she just magically gets minimum 50K views on every single post she makes, with barely any likes. And the main thing she is obviously doing at this point for all of her online history is promoting her off account, where she digs for gold and whatnot, because great. And all of her tweets constantly are getting at least 50K views out of nowhere. Like, these aren't even real tweets. She tweets like once a month, effectively, you could say. Well, obviously more, but she's very sparse. It is pretty insane. And all of her other presences are also equally fake. I'm not going to show her Instagram, even though I have this open. I'm not going to show her Instagram because I don't want to get demonetized. But her Instagram is also probably fake. She, on every platform, including this one right here, she has 200K plus followers that are inactive, don't support her, don't really interact with her. Starting from Twitch to Twitter, ending with Instagram and every other platform, all of her stuff is fake. It's botted. Every single platform she is on, she has massive amounts of followers that appeared out of nowhere and are inactive. Maybe Instagram has the most real of her followers, but Instagram is very interesting because her last post currently is done on December 2025, which is going to matter a lot later on. So her whole online presence, by the way, has been botted. One of the things Asmongold himself has currently said about Kaise is that she can't be using him for money or clout because she already has that. Well, I would like to disagree because she clearly doesn't have any of this because it's all fake. I also took a look at her spicy accounts, and none of them have followers, likes, or any of the things that you can see because they let you see the posts, the blah blah blahs, and she doesn't even post there. The only way this woman is getting money is if she has some specific guy who's literally sending her tens of thousands a month. Otherwise, her accounts are blatant failures. And this is the interesting part. This is probably the most interesting part about her kind of fake existence. You cannot find her surname. You cannot find even her real name most of the time. She does not exist outside of just being a streamer. Yet Asmongold has revealed to us that she's Chinese and her family is rich. But her family, as much as you can find information on them, is from Canada. And some of you don't know China. Some of you probably know a bunch of lies about it. But here's the truth about China. If you're rich, you don't get to leave China. There is no such thing as being rich and leaving China. You can't do that. The party in power does not allow rich people to just go and live outside of China. That's not a real thing. So there's only two effective ways that her parents can be rich and be from Canada. Well, live in Canada now and blah blah blah. She's from Canada technically. So that's why I'm wondering if that's why I think her parents are from Canada, because we don't know where they are. And if they're in China, which we're going to talk about that possibility, it gets even wilder. So, her parents, if her parents are rich, they have only two ways of living in Canada. One, and I shit you not, be spies for the CCP. Yes, that is one of the only two ways that you can actually be Chinese and go be rich and live in outside of Canada. To be a spy for the party. The second one is, this also is a very fun topic. If you're rich enough, you slowly find ways to move assets and money outside of China, and then you just vanish from China one day and live kinda off the grid for the rest of your life as someone who just vanished. It happens a lot, by the way. Every single year, there are multiple billionaires that just flee China and vanish because they don't want to live there any longer. It's a very interesting thing. So these are the two options that her family has in being rich, as Asmongold has stated himself, to be outside of China. Or maybe they're still in China. But if they're in China and they're rich and their daughter is doing off things, that is insanity, because China is a little bit different culturally to these things. A rich family is probably going to disavow her. They're probably going to cut ties with her if they're legitimately living in China and their daughter is just being Nightwing. She's just pretending to be Nightwing in a country outside of that, because that's a massive disgrace. If you are a rich person in China, you can't have that. So this is all insane, kinda. Again, she's probably Chinese. Her parents are probably Chinese, or she lied to Asmongold. Those are the options currently. It is kind of insane. Like, these options, all of these possibilities are fucking insane. There's actually the chance that she is legitimately a Chinese spy, by the way, is not zero, because we don't know anything about her. Where she did things, where she worked, where she anything. We just know that she has a Twitch account, and that's pretty much it. And she streams like once or twice a month. And then she has an OF account that's not going anywhere and is a bust, because no one actually subscribes and whatnot. Okay? And now the big one. This is the actual fucked up part. This is kind of interesting, wild, in separate ways, but the real interesting part is this. Because kaise is nothing new. I personally thought, when I heard about this person, kaise right here, I thought that this is potentially the third woman that Asmongold has interacted with. The first one being Pink Sparkles, and this is the reason why I brought Pink Sparkles up at the start here, because it actually matters for this point. First one being Pink Sparkles, and the second one, a girl that appeared 2 years ago. So, when a girl appeared 2 years ago, I looked into her because I thought, oh my god, this is just another off girl, right? And it was. But I did not remember the name kaise. So when I, today, after looking into kaise, decided to look into the second girl that Asmongold dated 2 years ago, or was at least presumed to be dating, turns out it was kaise again. And this is where the fucked up shit starts. Remember when I said that her Instagram account has pretty much only pictures from as old as December 2025? Well, there's a very good reason for that, you see. Kaise is probably 30 years old or something. And when I looked into kaise the last time 2 years ago, when I heard that Asmongold's doing it, I actually thought of making a video because what I found was fucked up. Because you see, kaise initially seems like tried to create her off fame by pretending that she's just 18. Yes. Yes. And I remember this. I remember looking into her 2 years ago and finding an Instagram filled with videos about tee hee ha ha, just turned 18. She's like 30 or something, 32 here or whatever. And this is the reason why, for a very small period of time in 2024, people were questioning is Asmongold meeting a minor? Because again, her whole shtick for most of her life of OOF has been that she just turned 18. And she was doing this for years. I remember finding the Instagram account and seeing a bunch of pictures like this. There's not one, there's a million of them. She's constantly pretending to be 18 or super young, which is really questionable if you have ever heard that Asmongold thinks that, you shouldn't be with younger women and, things like that. That he finds it wrong or he wouldn't do it or blah, blah, blah. Well, my dude, 2 years ago, you literally tried to get together with a girl who constantly is pretending to be just 18, which is fucking weird, okay? And this is undeniable. And she has deleted all of those pictures. This is why her Instagram, which again is 100% also botted. Again, all of her shit is botted because her parents are probably rich. All of her shit is botted, and that's why she has currently like 50 something 6 8 or whatever posts on Instagram, and yet she has 300 plus almost 300k followers. Again, she probably has botted like 200k ish followers on everywhere that she could. It is pretty insane. So this woman has all the reasons to actually try and get Asmongold because she wants to use him for fame, because all of her fame is fake and it's running out. I don't actually have it open, but there is an Instagram tracker. An Instagram tracker. There's many trackers for different type of stuff, but Instagram is the best one because it's her biggest one and it's the most active with the most likes, with the most real statistics out of all of them. And even that is actually constantly showing her losing followers because she doesn't post. Again, she doesn't actually do any of this. She doesn't stream. She doesn't really post on Twitter. She doesn't even post on her off account, another account. And she doesn't post on her Instagram. All about her is fake, so she has all the reasons to actually try and use Asmongold for clout, because maybe her family is rich, and I do actually think that part is probably true, as Asmongold himself stated. But her situation in life is as fake as it gets, because I don't think she has an education. I don't understand how she can come from a rich Chinese family and be an off girl, even, honestly. It just doesn't make sense. And the fact that she's originally Canadian, which is, by the way, Chinese spies have two popular ways of getting into America. One is anchor babies, and you probably have heard about that, the, what's it called? The thing where you have a kid in America and he's automatically American. They have that, and then they have people traveling into Canada because it's easier, and then from Canada legally traveling into the USA. Like, the chances that she is a spy are higher that she has actual real following. It is insane. And again, the fucking age thing is ridiculous. Like, again, and it's funny because, by the way, this is a 2-year-old post, by the way. Look at her. She does look young-ish, and she can probably pull it off to a decent degree, pretend that she's young. And this is her now, by the way, 10 weeks ago. She's fucking aging like milk, boys. It's not good. Yeah, she is definitely aging like milk. So yeah, the Asmongold girlfriend situation is very, very, very bad. There's also clips, and this is, I mean, I'm not giving it a lot of chances, boys, honestly, because she gives him a gift. She's Chinese. She knows the Chinese culture. Giving someone fucking giving a multimillionaire a gift that's probably 10K at best, probably 10K that he gave her through OF, by the way, is is kind of super disrespectful. And by the way, this is a woman's watch. This is not a man's watch. This is a woman's watch. He picked out a woman's watch for him. That is fucking wild. Then we have the fact that Asmongold's pretty much simping for her. And then we have the fact that she's constantly kind of making fun of him on streams. She constantly calls him dirty. She constantly calls him kind of disgusting to a degree. It's like a little bit of that he shit, but yeah, ask Nick Pollum how that ended up. It doesn't. You can't have a woman just constantly, literally disrespecting you and calling you dirty and blah blah blah. That does not end well. So there is no chance this works out, and that's kind of the end of the story, honestly. Like again, this is as wild as it honestly gets. In any case, thanks for watching. Have a nice day. Bye.